I may venture into the political conversation, but typically not. Typically not. So bear with me as I get my beverage together. This is not tea, ironically. This is coffee, but this is some empowered coffee. I'm all about empowerment. I don't know if you can hear me while I'm stirring it. I'm all about empowerment. And this coffee is not just coffee. What I have inside of here is creatine, collagen, some nutmeg, and a little bit of brown sugar. So it's nutritious. Just bear with me. I just had an amazing dinner. Oh, it's not really dinner time. It's like lunchtime. But I just had an amazing, 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 amazing. Can y'all see the steam? It's hot. Can you see the steam here? So I'm going to sip this. Welcome, welcome in to the SupaTea Podcast Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, that's perfect. It just needs to cool off. So let me sit that right there. And how is everybody's week? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I know when I started, I'm looking at two devices. So if it looks like I'm looking down before I'm actually reading, that's what's happening. I have my YouTube live going as well as my TikTok live. But I'm feeling a little bug inside that's saying perhaps I should go over to the Instagram streets, because the Instagram streets have been priceless to me this last couple of days. Like the information and the connections I was able to make, it's phenomenal. So I don't think streets. Plus, I believe the way TikTok is structured, and I'm just assuming, I don't know for sure, but I believe the way TikTok is structured, they want to see daily activity from you. And I only come on there once a week. I'm not on there every day, people. I got stuff to do. And I'll be tired. And that's a lot, I feel at this point I need a social media manager or something. I need somebody else to come on this and like I just record and then they, push it out or whatever. Maybe AI could do that. I don't know. It's worth some further investigating. But yeah, like I'm using two devices now. I can't imagine. I'm pretty sure there's a way to go simultaneously. I don't know if you need separate devices for all of those things, but like go live on YouTube, go live on TikTok, go live on IG, go live on Facebook, like all ironically. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do a little experimentation this Sunday, Soulful Sundays. I'm gonna spend like maybe 15 minutes. I'm gonna do my whole complete episode, obviously here on. I feel like I got food on my mouth. Here on I think I should put some lipstick on or something, right? Here on YouTube, I am going to be doing the full episode. Here in these TikTok streets, I'm not sure. I think I may just stay there for like 15 minutes and then see what's happening in the Instagram streets and also in the Facebook streets, because I've been more active with posting on my Facebook SupaTea Podcast platform. Like, I'm gonna be honest, transparent with you. It's only been a couple of days I've been more active over there, but the engagement is going up because these platforms let you know what's happening through your analytics, and it let me know, hey, your analytics went up 400%. I'm like, really? From like 2 days? Well, that's encouraging that I should be over there. I should be where I am best of service at, right? I don't even know if I'm going to do a full 15 minutes over inside of TikTok. Because after I post TikTok, yeah, I have access to the video and I can upload the video once I download the video, which requires having adequate memory space on my device to do. Yeah, I gotta download it before I upload it to another platform. And that's a little bit much. That's why I'm here live on my YouTube channel, because as soon as I finish on my YouTube channel, yes, it uploads automatically as private, but all I got to do is go and edit that privacy to public, put some words into the description, and ta-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it. And the reason why I'm loving it is because it allows people to come and see it at their convenience. Like, my time is not your time, okay? And your time ain't my time. So, yes, I have made a commitment to be here 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday, but you may have things going on and you may not be able to catch the live. So you may have to catch the replay. And that is what I love about YouTube. Now, I'm not sure if they allow replays on the other platforms. I do believe that on Facebook, they have like a 30-day limit. And because Facebook has merged with Instagram and become Meta, I'm pretty sure it's 30 days for both of those platforms. However, that's still better than, oh, you gotta be here on TikTok. You don't gotta be here on TikTok. Shoot, if you got the time and you want to, and you choose to spend it with me, thank you. I appreciate you. But if you don't, thank you too. Like, do what's important to you, boo boo. Okay, because that's what I'm doing. That's how I live my life, and I just encourage people to live their lives what's in alignment with them. So yeah, definitely no pressure, no bells, no whistles. What you see is what you get. I am that I am. That's all that I am. I ain't trying to be nothing else but me. And that is the truth. That is the whole truth. Ain't nothing but the truth. Okay? And I know that is weird today because I could. If I wanted to, I could. I'm shapely. I'm cute. I could throw on some cover up. As you see, I ain't got none on. I ain't even got no mascara on today. But yeah, if I could, if I wanted to and could, to what they call it, thirst trap you, give you eye candy, all that good stuff, I can do that. That's easy. I got a big natural booty and I'm voluptuous and all of that. But what does that matter? I don't want to trick you into giving you knowledge and wisdom. I want you to have the desire already in you. If you have the desire already in you for wisdom, for knowledge, then you're going to be naturally drawn and you're going to stick around because it's going to resonate with your spirit, with your soul. If it doesn't resonate with your spirit and soul, then go ahead. And I get people do things to grab your attention, but no. I'm just here to be of service. And whoever I am of service to, I'm sure it's being done well. This book right here, I'm excited because this is multi-services that's going on here now. I want you to know this, okay? Because the time that I spend reading this book and sharing my perspectives with the world through these social media platforms, I also have my own personal introspective and my own time to dive into this book. It's almost like an excuse, and I love to read, but I'm still coordinating my lifestyle so that I have ample time to just read and read. I can't wait to get my books properly situated. But anyway, I'm not going to look around this office space because this office space is just an example of growth, an example of growth that's happening right now. And construction. This office space is example for construction of growth, and it's chaotic a bit because there's books everywhere. There's books in boxes and books in chairs and books in bins and books on, I don't even know what that contraption is I got from Uline, but I bought a contraption. Shelves. There's books. There's not on bookshelves, on plastic shelves that I got from Uline. Any hoots. My books are everywhere, okay? They're everywhere. They need to be organized and get actual bookshelves. I don't know if I'm gonna have somebody actually help me do that. Somebody mentioned it, like, "Oh, I can help you do that," and I'm like, I don't think they really realize, like, I'm so serious and I need help to do this. Hey, welcome, Roy. Roy, welcome, Roy. Okay, I'm almost at my 15-minute mark on the TikTok. That's so good. It's amazing how I don't drink coffee every day, but I enjoy it. Isn't that amazing? That'd be amazing myself. All right. Well, TikTok world, if you would like to continue, you're going to have to catch me over in these YouTube streets because I'm gonna be over here in YouTube, period, for the whole episode. It's typically about an hour long. Sometimes I go over, sometimes I go under. But with that being said, I'm going to make a post so you know where to catch me at. And I'm ending the live over there. I gotta just put a post. Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm in the TikTok streets. Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. Just bear with me, people. YouTube, this is live, okay? That's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm there every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know this is redundant here in the YouTube streets. But speaking of YouTube, that's where I am right now, live. And I'm typing the time. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. Sometimes I'm... Well, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I know... Okay, we're good. Let me see what this is. Let's get up out of here.
Forms, you know? Shit is a switch.
Let's get up out of here. Let's get up out of here. Let's get. Bear with me. Ooh. Thank you so much for your patience. There's nobody over here anyway. If you're watching the preview, I'm going to put in the description, like, the episode really doesn't dive into the book until, like, 20 minutes in. Let's be honest. Like, first 20 minutes, I am blabbering. I guess I'm going to be blabbering the whole time. But this is special. Because, again, the numbers are growing up over there.
I love a couple that adopts their single friends because, like, yeah, where are we going? All three of us, like, where are we going?
Who gonna tell them? Who is gonna tell them?
Okay, so let's turn this around. Normal video, hold up. Layout, what's going on? Okay, I don't want to do a post.
I love a couple that adopts their single friends because, like, yeah,
Maybe okay, I can. Soulful Sundays. Soulful Sundays. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go live. Ooh, baby, I like it like that. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. It has been a while. I know I have done about 4 welcomes here in YouTube land, and I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. Yes, I do. I can reduce the background noise, so that's a awesome feature. Let's do it because I'm in an urban area and the ambulance comes in and I don't know how to edit it out, especially during a live. So, with that being said, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am the host and the curator and the everything right now of the SupaTea Podcast Show. And I'm looking for that to evolve and change in the near future. However, it is Soulful Sundays, and it is my 3rd Soulful Sunday. And the goal is for us to dive into amazing books that I select, but I am also open to suggestion. And then particularly, if you just got here, you can catch episode 1 that starts from chapter 1 on my YouTube channel. However, I am not going to talk much more because I've already been talking for like 17 minutes on my YouTube channel. I have both my YouTube live going right now in conjunction with the live here on Facebook. I decided to go Facebook, even though I was like, maybe I should go Instagram because Instagram has been so valuable to me recently. And I just felt like so really, 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 really grateful for Instagram. But Instagram and Facebook are one, right? So I'm assuming that it's all good. You know, Instagram will get the juice somehow, or perhaps I should go into Instagram streets. I just kind of felt that just now as I was ready to dive into the book. I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop the live over here for Facebook. Bear with me. Thank you for your freaking patience, my YouTube folks. Yeah, it says it's going to be deleted to 30 days. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to Instagram like my first mind said. Like, I felt a little, like you supposed to be over here. I want to show you my world. What's free? Pressing buttons, people. Pressing buttons. Here we go. Oh, and I like Instagram because I can put a little flair to it. Okay, I like it. I don't know if I should put a little sparkle to it or a little hearts. Ooh, that's nice. That's interesting. Let's try this one. This is one of my favorite filters. Okay, focus, right? My account is no longer eligible for live videos in Instagram. Oh, wow. I have to have 1,000 people over there. Wow. Well, I would have never knew. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their rules and regulations. I need 1,000 followers in Instagram to go live. So let's make it happen, people. But in the meanwhile, catch me in YouTube land. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their rules and regulations. I need 1,000 followers in Instagram to go live. So let's make it happen, people. But and meanwhile, catch me in. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their rules and regulations. I need 1,000 followers in Instagram to go live. So let's make it happen, people. But in the meanwhile, catch me in you. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their rules and regulations. I need 1,000 followers in Instagram to go live. So let's make it happen, people. But in the meanwhile, catch me in you. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their rules and regulations. I need 1,000 followers in Instagram to go live. So let's make it happen, people. But in the meanwhile, catch me in you. Welcome to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So let's get my following up. I didn't know Instagram changed their...
They expect you to act bougie. What's free? What's free is...
I got 5:47. Well, I'm halfway there. Woo. I guess we're going back over to...
What's free? What's free is what...
Because you know what? I'm going to go back to where I was at. How about that?
Mr. Minnesota.
That was interesting. That was quite interesting right there. Welcome back to the SupaTea Podcast Show. So I'm gonna dive into today's episode, and the chapter we are at the Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav is chapter 3, Reverence. And well, YouTube, you've seen it, you heard everything. I guess it's really not important for me to go into the details in the TikTok streets. I'm just going to dive in because I've been going back and forth trying to decide which other platform I'm going to be doing this broadcast on simultaneously along with YouTube. And yeah, I learned something in the midst of that, and cool. Now let's dive into today's chapter, Reverence. Excuse me. The framework of karma and reincarnation in which we evolve is neutral. Actions and reactions in the physical arena set energy into motion, forming our experiences and revealing in the process the lessons that the soul has yet to learn. When our actions create discord in another person, we ourselves in this lifetime or in another will feel that discord. Likewise, if our actions create harmony and empowerment in another, I don't know if I agree with that statement, we will also come to feel that harmony and empowerment. I'm going to stop right there. I don't necessarily agree with that. But these are the words of Gary Zukav, and this is his personal experience. I personally feel what you create in your own life is what you're going to feel the impact of. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to continue reading the book. This allows us to experience the effects of what we have created, and thereby to learn to create responsibly. So he kind of agreed with what I said, but he believes if it creates harmony in somebody else's life, then you will get the karma from that. And if it creates discord in somebody else's life, you'll get the karma from that. And perhaps that comes from where the intention is. But again, that's a gray area because you can intend to create harmony in someone's life and they may not be receptive to it. And if they're not receptive to the harmony that you are intending to create into their lives, then how does that karmically affect you? Is your karma affected by your intention or by the actual results? Good question, right? Let's go back into the book. The framework of karma and reincarnation is impersonal and provides for each soul in response to its actions of its personalities, the experiences that it requires in order to evolve. Therefore, the orientation or the attitude with which a personality approaches the evolutionary process determines the nature of the experiences that will be required for the evolution of its soul. An angry personality, for example, will respond to the difficulties of its life with anger, thereby bringing into being the necessity of experiencing the results of anger. A sorrowful personality will respond sorrowfully and bring into being the necessity of experiencing the results of sorrow, and so on. A person who is angry and yet reveres life, however, will respond very differently to the difficulties of his or her life than a person who is angry and has no reverence for life. The person who has no reverence for life will not hesitate to strike out against life. The violence that is released in killing another person or another living creature is much greater than the violence that is released in speaking angry words. The karmic obligation, the energy and balance that is created by killing can be balanced only by the experience of a commensurate brutality. Thus, a person who is reverent will automatically be spared the severe karmic consequences of one who is not. Even if all our species were reverent, that would not end the need for us to move through our own evolution. It would just change the quality of the learnings within the process of evolution. In other words, if we became reverent this day, we would not be exempt from the demands of our evolution, but the quality of the experiences that we would encounter would be different. We would not harm life. We would still learn the same thing, but in the process of learning, we would not seek to harm or to destroy. Our journey from powerlessness to authentic empowerment would continue, but the nature of that experience would change. We would not encounter the types of experiences that result from a perception of the world that lacks reverence. We see life as cheap. This perception pervades all of our perceptions. When we look at the animal kingdom, for example, we see the activities within this kingdom as verification of our evaluation of life. We see animals kill and feed upon other animals, and we conclude that the weaker forms of life exist only to nourish the stronger. We justify our exploitation of life upon what we perceive to be the design of nature. We maim and kill. We create situations in which millions of people starve while we store grain in silos and pour milk down drains. We look upon each other as prey to satisfy our emotional and physical needs. We say it's a dog-eat-dog world and that to survive in it, we must take advantage of others before they take advantage of us. We look upon life as a contest that produces winners and losers. And we feel no restraint upon us when the needs of other people or other groups threaten us. Our behavior and values are so much shaped by perceptions that lack reverence that we do not know what it is like to be reverent. When we curse a competitor or strive to disempower another person, we absent ourselves from reverence. When we work to take instead of to give, we labor without reverence. When we strive for safety at the expense of another person's safety, we deprive ourselves of the protection of reverence. When we judge one person as superior and another as inferior, we depart from reverence. When we judge ourselves, we do the same thing. Business, politics, education, sex, raising families, and personal interactions without reverence all produce the same result. Human beings using other human beings. Our species has become arrogant. We behave as though the earth was ours to do with as we please. We pollute its land, oceans, and atmosphere to satisfy our needs without thinking of the needs of the other life forms that live upon the earth or the needs of the earth itself. We believe that we're conscious and that the universe is not. We think and act as though our existence as living forces in the universe will end with this lifetime and that we are responsible neither to others nor to the universe. It is not possible for a reverent person to exploit his or her friends, co-workers, city, nation, or planet. It is not possible for a reverent species to create caste systems, child labor, nerve gas, or nuclear weapons. Therefore, it is not possible for a reverent person or a reverent species to accumulate the kind of karma that such activities create. Why is this? What is reverence? Reverence is engaging in a form and a depth of contact with life that is well beyond the shell form and into existence. Reverence is contact with the essence of each thing and person and plant and bird and animal. It is contact with the interior of its beingness. Even if you cannot sense the interior, it is enough to know that the form, the shell, is merely an outer layer, and that underneath it is true power and essence of who a person is or what a thing is present. That is what is honored in reverence. Process is honored in reverence. The unfolding of life, the maturation process, the process of growing through and coming into your own empowerment is a process that needs to be approached with reverence. The cycles of life need to be approached with reverence. They have been in place for billions of years. They are the reflection of the natural breathing of the soul of Gaia itself, the earth consciousness, as it moves its force fields and guides the cycles of life. If these are revered, how can we look at something as exquisite as our earth ecology and do one thing that would risk the balance of this system? Reverence is an attitude of honoring life. You do not have to be authentically empowered to be gentle with life or to love life. There are many people who are not authentically empowered, but who are quite reverent. They would harm nothing. Often it is the case that they are the most compassionate and most loving people because they have suffered so much. Whether a person is reverent depends essentially upon whether he or she accepts the principle of the sacredness of life, any way that he or she defines sacred. Reverence is also simply the experience of accepting that all life is in of itself of value. Reverence is not respect. Respect is a judgment. It is a response to the perception of the qualities that we ourselves admire or have been taught to admire. Qualities that are admired by the people of one culture may not be admired by the people of another culture, or by the people of a subculture, or by another generation of the same culture. Therefore, what is respected by some people may not be respected by others. It is possible to respect one person and not respect another, but it's not possible to revere one person without revering every person. Reverence is a perception, but it is a holy perception. The perception of holiness is not one that we use continually. It is one that we apply to religion, but not to the process of evolution or the learning process of the human life. And so we do not approach the need to learn all of the learning experiences of our lives with regard for their purpose against the background of spiritual development. Perceiving in this way is true reverence because it allows you to look at what you're going through and to see it within a framework of the evolution and the maturation of your own spirit. It is true reverence because it enables you to look at all the evolutions that are taking place simultaneously within your own and all of the kingdoms of life, and fully appreciate, or at least see very differently, how they unfold. Only when we see through eyes that lack reverence, for example, does the feeding of one animal upon another appear to be a cruel system instead of one where species learn to give to each other. Where there is a natural give and take and sharing of the energies between kingdoms, this is ecology. The natural redistribution of energy between kingdoms. It's only our kingdom, the human kingdom, that wants to warehouse energy, to use much more than it needs and to store what it don't need. So that the balance of the cycle is disturbed so dramatically. If each of us took only what he or she needed, interdependency of different species from a more comprehensive and compassionate perspective, it allows us to see the significance of each living creature and its experiences to the compassionate unfolding of the universe. This perspective is much less likely to create violent or destructive responses within us as we grow through our lives, because it reveals in each moment the value of all life. Approaching and regarding life with an attitude of reverence permits the experience of being unempowered, but not cruel. As you work towards becoming reverent, your tendencies towards harming others and other forms of life diminish. As you acquire a sense of reverence, you develop a capacity to think more deeply about the value of life before you commit your energy to action. When you are fully reverent, you cannot harm life even though you are unempowered. Without reverence, the experience of being unempowered can become a very cruel one because a disempowered person typically is a frightened person. And if a frightened person has no sense of reverence, he or she will kill or harm indiscriminately. Reverence is a level of protection and honor about the process of life, so that while a person is maturing towards the journey of life, so that while a person is maturing towards the journey of life and through the journey of authentic empowerment, he or she harms nothing. Because we have no reverence, our journey to empowerment often includes the experiences of victimizing life. Therefore, there are victims and victimizers. The process of destroying life while we are learning about life that has characterized our evolution without cease, or at least will be very different if we approach life with a quality of reverence. It is because we have no sense of reverence, no true belief in the holiness of all life, that life is destroyed and tortured, brutalized, starved, maimed, while we journey from unempowerment to empowerment. If a sense of reverence was brought into the process of evolution, then as each of us in our species moves through the cycle of being unempowered to becoming empowered, the many learnings that are contained within that growing process of evolution will not likely produce violence and fear to the extent that it is now experienced. Welcome in, Nelson. The destructions of human life, plant life, animal life, and the planet would be considerably diminished or would cease if there was an active principle of reverence within our species, if there was the perception within our species and within each of us that although we are engaged in evolutionary processes that require personal learning, that does not authorize us to destroy life while we are learning or because we are. We would not have the karmic energy of destruction, only of learning. Even though learning is contained in destruction, the karmic consequences of participating in violence and destructions are a high priority, in other words, to learn what we need to learn and have it cost somebody his or her life. It is not necessary for progress and the experience of progress to cause the destruction of nature. It is not necessary. But without a sense of reverence for life, who cares that it destroys life? Without reverence, life becomes a very cheap commodity, as it is upon our planet now, where the entire process and the sacredness of evolution is not regarded, accepted, or honored in some circles. If we perceived life with reverence and understood our evolutionary process, we would stand in awe at the experience of physical life and walk the earth in a very deep sense of gratitude. As it is, there are billions of human beings who are filled with regret that they are on the earth, with overwhelming experiences of pain, despair, discouragement, depression, starvation, and disease. These are the things of our planet. They result largely from the fact that so much of the human condition is without reverence. Reverence is a perception of the soul. Only the personality can perceive life without reverence. Reverence is a natural aspect of authentic empowerment because the soul reveres all of life. Therefore, when the personality is aligned with the soul, it cannot perceive life except with reverence. Approaching life with reverence not only protects the soul from the karmic obligations that are created by personalities that do not honor life, but it's also a step towards moving the personality into alignment with the soul because it brings an aspect of the soul directly into the physical environment. What does the decision to approach life with reverence mean in practical terms? It means challenging the perceptions and the values of a five-sensory world that lacks reverence. This is not always easy, especially for males who have been taught values that serve the accumulation of external power. An authentically empowered male will not be embarrassed or feel less than fully masculine by showing concern for life. And for many creatures on our planet, this is very much the energy of reverence. Therefore, the decision to approach life with reverence often requires courage, not only of men, but also of women who have adopted these values. I want to know, I want to know, I want to know, I want to know. And I want to just pause right there. Several reasons. I want to take a sip of my coffee. And I want to just reflect. I just want to reflect because excuse me. I don't know. I did stir it, but I was kind of rushing, and if you just coming in, I have to share with you how I make my coffee. So typically, agave syrup, brown sugar, nutmeg, black. I don't add any milk, any creamer to my coffee. But what I have been doing when I do enjoy it, which is not every day, is I add collagen to it. So I do have some collagen in here, and also a little bit of creatine inside of my coffee right now, which is just beneficial for me. And it's not bitter, but I don't necessarily taste the sugar at all. Anyway, I wanted to reflect because simultaneously I am in school full time. I'm a full-time student currently, and I'm probably going to be a full-time student for a few years. I'm working towards my doctorate degree, and taking the steps in that direction. And with that being said, I have found a field that I really, really enjoy a lot. I dare say I enjoy this field even more than music. And that's a big statement for me because I love to sing and I love music. But psychology. So psychology is just amazing to me. I just love it. And I'm studying it, and I just was doing like a journal entry for my psychology class, which asks all these nosy ass questions. They ask all these nosy ass questions. Like, this is very personal. Are you happy? If you're not happy, what would you think you could do to be happy? I know that's a generalized one, but it dives deep. It definitely dives deep. And I'm a deep diver, okay? Like, I am a woman of depth. And people are not used to that, especially the way I look, They're like, because I'm curvy, because I'm cute, they feel like I am superficial until they try to approach me with some superficial crap. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that didn't work. Oh, something must be wrong. Something must be wrong. I was like wrong because I ain't superficial, motherfuckers. Y'all be wild. No, I'm of reverence. I'm of depth, so things like this I enjoy doing, diving into books and reading books and going to museums and traveling and diving into spirituality and studying different religions, which I've done, and looking and seeing the common thread. And I like to, this is a terminology I just recently came up with, but I'm bilingual in religion and in spirituality. So I can listen to a Christian, I can listen to a Buddhist, and I can listen to, I don't even know who was another, a Jewish person. And they could say very different things, but I can hear the commonality in what they're saying. Like I could interpret spiritually what the intention, because sometimes people are just repeating shit. They don't even know what they're repeating. They don't even know the meaning of what they're repeating. Sometimes they're just saying shit that they heard somebody else said. But I can interpret the meaning behind the text. And I can interpret the meaning behind what they're saying, even though they may be saying it in a different way. And that to me is like, I love it. I love it. It allows me to communicate with folks, in their language, and that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And their spiritual language, I should say. That's kind of cool. I know how to talk to a Christian. I know how to talk to a Jew. I know how to talk to a Muslim. I know how to speak to them spiritually in ways that resonates, where they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Without subscribing to any of those religions, because I just feel man has manipulated a lot of spirituality. Have been manipulative, but anyway, those things are unraveling and falling to the wayside, and more universalism is being appreciated, and being proven and being shown. So back to just being writing in my journal, well, not in my journal, but for homework, answering some journal questions. I was just like, okay. I see like the perfect alignment. They asked the question. I can't even. I could look it up if I wanted to, but I would have to stop my broadcast. They asked a question that was a surface level question, but gave me the option of going in depth with it. Of course, I decided to go deep, and I used words. And this book, I haven't gotten through this book completely yet. I did start reading it maybe a year ago or several months ago, but as far as like retain it, I can't say that I have. A lot of things that I'm coming across now is like epiphanic to me, and I'm just like, wow. But they align because it's like it's describing me. It's describing how I live my life. I live a life of reverence. I live a life of empowerment, and the empowerment is not external; it's internal, and it came from having knowledge of myself, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing, 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 amazing. And I shared that because I think those are psychological breakthroughs that need to be shared on a bigger scale. I think some people are aware of these, but it needs to be more common. So the same way we look at, I'm just gonna call it how it is, old white men's study of psychology and use it as a foundation. I would love to do some studies and go deep and teach in this field and share and unravel and prove with other great doctors like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Amen, even work with Dr. Michael Beckwith. Can you tell that I have a favorite? He's just fucking, excuse my language, he's just amazing. He's just amazing. I want to work with him. And Dr. B Serious, like, oh, like these are the people, like, and I had the opportunity to meet Dr. B Serious yesterday, and I almost went, but I had to number one listen, I had to listen. I had to listen, and I had to be sensible and practical. I did recently, believe it or not, have a minor surgery to a very important space in my body, and the surgeon, or I should say the orthodontist, was fantastic. Like fantastic. She was everything. And today I just like realized, like, she was just so good. I didn't get no swelling. It was over here. I didn't get no swelling. Everything is healing up really, really quick. Intuitively, I requested some amoxicillin because there was a slight infection before the surgery was performed. And I just wanted, surgery involves obviously cutting and, you know what I'm saying, opening up stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that's curved. And so that is curved and being curved. But so today, I'm cleaning out the area. And I just ate, so good. Like, why food so good like that? I don't even know why that food's so good like that. I cooked it. But woo! Some baked chicken with some spinach rice. And I seasoned the spinach rice. Basmati rice too. It's like the rice of the century for me. Anyway, I ate, and I was conscious. I was like self-conscious, and maybe a rice kernel went over there. And so when I went in my mouth after I brushed my teeth after I ate, and I rinsed out my mouth with the salt water, I looked and I see like white over there, and I'm like, oh shoot, there's some rice in there. And how do rice get so deep in there though? It wasn't rice though. It was actually cells, but I didn't know that initially. So I very carefully sterilized a pick, and after I sterilized the pick, I'm like very gently, because I had to do this the same day that I had the procedure, because there was eggs over there, and it was evident that they were eggs over there. But again, because it's healing so rapidly, is closing. So it's just a very little opening, and I saw the white, and I just assumed the white was a piece of rice. And so I was like, oh no, I gotta get it out. So I sterilized the toothpick. Um, After I sterilize the pick, I'm very gently, like, going at the rice. I'm touching what appears to be the rice, and I'm like moving it to get it out of there. And I realized, oh, that ain't rice. That's soft. That's soft tissue right there. Let me get this pick up out of this soft tissue right there. That soft tissue needs to be there. But before I came to that conclusion, I got my spotlight and I put my spotlight on it. And when I put my spotlight on it, I saw like everything. And I was just like, oh, sure. So I was like, I felt good that I made the decision to keep my behind still, because I don't need to be in New York City, of all places, right now, with being vulnerable as far as like biologically, because I had not the major, but the minor surgery. So the wound is not automatically all the way healed. So it's an open wound. I don't need to be in an open wound and it's just germs flying. No. I need a bit of incubation, not complete incubation, but a bit of incubation. I don't need to be in a cesspool of germs, and not saying that that's what was happening in that particular space, but I had to get to that space, which means I would have had to travel on the subway and travel here and travel through, again, all type of pathogens. And yeah, good. The healing, we wanted to continue to be rapid. So I did not meet Dr. B Serious yesterday, but I'm sure I am meeting him in the near future, because if he came all the way to Brooklyn, New York, from wherever he resides at, I think he resides on the West Coast, he'll be back over here. And I am gratefully connected with individuals who are doing similar events. So I'm looking forward. And I'm suggesting, if they haven't thought about him, I'm definitely suggesting him for invite him. So with that being said, it's just the alignment. It's like, this is the perfect time for me to be going through my series of Soulful Sunday. It's the perfect restart at the perfect time. And I didn't think about it. I actually was prompted by a sister. And she was like, you know what? We should go live. And I was like, we should. Let's do it Sunday at 3 p.m. What you think? She was like, yeah. And so my first episode was not diving into a book, but it was a soulful conversation. It was a conversation about addiction. And ironically, addiction is one of the chapters in here. And I can't wait to get to that chapter. It's in here. It is actually what chapter is that one? Ooh, interesting. I should just look at the table of contents, right? Make life easy for myself. It is, okay, we're in 1, 2, 3. We're in 3 now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's the 10th chapter. And it goes to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 16 chapters here. We are in chapter 3. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting 16 weeks. Hey, Lucretia. I am at the end of my daggone body sugar. Okay? I have to get some more. I use it very preciously. I probably should use it every day, but gotta get my coins right so I can use it every day. Welcome, Lucretia. I'm just in here taking a break from the book. I am reading The Seat of the Soul by Love You Too, sis. You're so inspiring. Anyway, I'm reading from the book Gary Zukav, Seed of the Soul. I'm in chapter 3. I just took a little break to sip my coffee and talk and reflect on how everything is in so much alignment. And basically, this book is describing how we are much more than what we see, and why we are so much than what we see, and why we have some of the challenges that we have, and how we can avert those challenges, and deal with those challenges and come up with solutions. And it comes with us recognizing who we truly are, and recognizing that we're more than these wonderful shells that you help take care of. Okay, if y'all not familiar with Lucretia, y'all need to go to her page. I know here in my YouTube, you don't see her stuff, but I'm gonna get a link and I'm gonna post it in the description. She's a sister who makes body products, skincare products. She makes these herself, okay, by hand, okay. Yeah, and she makes a lot of them, and they smell fantastic, and they're good for the skin. I have had no issues but goodness, and like I said, I use it sparingly because it's just that important to me. And it ain't for every day. It'd be like special occasions. I'll be like, okay, let me pull out my little sugar scrub. Let me get a little bit over there. I might have somebody coming. I might get somebody close enough to get a sniff. Let me stop. Let me stop acting up. Anyway, that's what I'm over here doing. Reading and being my authentic self, people. As you can see, it's multifaceted, okay? I'm going to go back into the book. Where'd I leave off? The decision. Oh, perfect. The decision to become irreverent. That's the chapter I'm on. Chapter 3 is on reverence. The decision to become a reverent person is essentially the decision to become a spiritual person. There is currently no place for spirituality within science, politics, business, or academia. Currently. We're going to work on changing that, okay? You work on changing that, because how can you take the bigger part of everything and take it out of stuff? What's up with that? What's up with that? That's an excuse. I have to pause real quick. That's an excuse, because people want to say, oh, spirituality is separate. How? How do you say that this force that is holding up our planet, first of all, how do you say that force is unconscious? How do you just say it's just random energy? It can't be just random energy that's stopping planets from colliding with each other. It has to be conscious. And guess what? It's more conscious than we is. I'm going to say it 2 more times so you get it. The energy that is holding up the planet that we are on is more conscious than we is. I'm going to say it again. The energy that is holding up the planet. Yeah, the planet that we on right now, something is holding it up. That energy is conscious. It's more conscious than we are. It's more intelligent than we is. We is not the smartest things. Obviously, we ain't the smartest things, okay? We are seeing that right now, globally. We ain't the smartest things, okay? So that energy, we could say that that's spirituality. Because spirituality does not have to, it's unseen. You can't see it with your physical eyes, but you know it exists. You don't go into space. You don't see little wires connected, holding the planets together. You don't see it, but you see that they're not crashing into each other. So there's something that's holding it. You want to call it God? Go for it. You want to call it Allah? Go for it. You call it whatever the heck you want to call it. The fact is that it exists. It exists. And we have access to it. We're connected to it, connected to everything. Operates through everything. We can't stop it from operating through stuff. We could say, oh, religion is separate, church is separate from the state. Oh, you could say that, but that don't make it motherfucking true. That don't make it motherfucking true. That don't make it true at all, okay? You could say that and put that into people's minds and try to get people to create a separation, but that's like saying this room ain't connected to the next room just because there's a door there. No, it's connected. It's all one space. That wall doesn't do anything. It's just something that's put there. Yeah. So, people, I don't know how they got away so long for centuries saying that this shit is separate, but it's not separate. And we need to acknowledge that it ain't separate. That spirituality, that unseen force is in everything. So if it's in everything, it's in politics. It's in business. It's in science. Duh. It's heavy in science. It's in academia. The heck is wrong? And people just be like, oh, no. I'm just going to say what they say. I'm just going to say what they say because they said it. And we're going to listen to what Freud said because Freud is the father of psychology. How can a planet that's billion years old, that's had humanoids on it for millennia, get the father of something a couple of hundred years ago? Now, I know I'm having challenges in the math that they're trying to teach me, but, yeah. My math skills are actually good. If something has been in existence for billions of years and life forms, humanoids, have been around for millennia, we just started studying things a couple of hundred years ago. Get out of here. Get out of here with your mess. Just get out of here. Just get out of here. It don't make no sense. Make no daggone sense. Oh, we just have to get very, very seasoned before we started activating our intellect. No, we're like in regression right now. We need to reactivate our intelligence. I digress. These are just my personal opinions. But I shall prove them in this lifetime. I guarantee that. I guarantee you that. And it ain't gonna be just me. Dr. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Amen, they are already doing the works, okay? There are doctors who are already applying it, okay? So, yeah. I'm just coming to join the crew. I'm with the crew where we gonna make shit better, okay? We gonna make shit better. That's the crew I'm with. I'm with the make shit better motherfucking crew. Let me get back to this book. There is, to a 5 sensory personality that lacks reverence, a reverent businessman or businesswoman. I'm a reverent businesswoman. Yes, I am. And I say that with vigor. I say that with my chest. I am a reverent businesswoman. And I know y'all think it's a disadvantage, but wait and see. Wait and motherfucking see. Wait and see. Just wait and see. Just be patient. Just be patient. To a 5 sensory personality that lacks reverence, a reverent businessman or businesswoman appears to be competing at a disadvantage. It's just an appearance, baby. Because the range of his or her activities is not unlimited. An irreverent politician appears to be unqualified for leadership in a world where the only power that is recognized is external power. Yet, I gotta sing this next part. To the multi-sensory human, a reverent businessman or businesswoman is a person who infuses a new energy into the archetype of entrepreneur. shifting it from a dynamic that is motivated by profits. And what the hell is a profit anyway? What is money? Money is a man-made tool. It's a tool like a drill, okay? Man made it. He crafted it. You can use it for things. But what is it for real? Something that man made. An irreverent politician is a person who challenges the concept of external power and brings to the political arena the concerns of the heart. Whoa! Therefore, the decision to approach life with reverence means acting and thinking as a spiritual person in a world that's so silly they can't even recognize spirit. And it means moving consciously towards the perceptions of the multisensory human. To live with reverence means being willing to say, this is life. We must not harm life. And those are our fellow humans. We must not destroy them and mean it. It means re-examining the way that we treat the members of the animal kingdom that serve us so patiently. It means recognizing the rights of the earth. That the earth has its rights. Hey, I see you, girl. Hey, Cherokee. The rights, it means recognizing the rights of the earth. That the earth has rights is a concept that's not even present in our species yet. Like, why? Why do we think us, we, the people that's here on the planet, have more rights than the planet that's holding us here? Why? Please tell me why. Please make it make sense to me. Because it don't make no sense to me. It's just simple common sense that the thing that's holding us here, the planet, has more rights. That the planet is more intelligent. That the planet has consciousness. Like, that just makes sense. If we have it, why wouldn't the planet have it? Why wouldn't Earth have it? We could clearly see she's alive. She's alive. You know, we could clearly see that. So that part, girl, backwards. This is backwards as they want to try to be. Fix this shit, okay? Because if we don't fix it, I don't know. I'm out of here. I got somewhere to go. But for those who don't, we want to make it, my fellow humans. Make sure y'all all right, yeah? Anyway, let's get back to this book, my silly behind. Where was I? Where am I here? Oh, yes. An attitude of reverence is the atmosphere, the environment in which the multisensory personality evolves. It is a sense of richness and fullness and intimacy of being. It creates compassion and acts of kindness. Without reverence, without the perception of the holiness of all things, the world becomes cold, barren, mechanical, random at the same time. And this creates experiences of alienation and acts of violence. We know why violence is happening. Well, goddamn it. We know why. We could stop the shit, okay? Let's create some reverence. Let's get back to the real core and truth of things, okay? It's not natural for us to live without reverence because that separates us from the basic energy of the soul. Reverence automatically brings forth patience. Impatience is the desire to have your needs met first. When your needs are taken care of, do you not then have patience with the needs of others? A reverent person honors life in all its forms, in all its activities. It does not think in the terms that are required to produce impatience. Reverence permits non-judgmental justice. The soul does not judge, and so the personality chooses to bring into physical reality another of its soul's characteristics when it chooses to approach life with reverence. The reverent person cannot consider himself or herself superior to another person or to any other form of life, because the reverent person sees divinity in all forms of life and honors it. Yes. An attitude of reverence facilitates the transition from the logic and understanding of just the five sensory human to the higher order of logic and understanding of the multi-sensory human. Because as we shall see, this higher order of logic and understanding originates in the heart. Without reverence, our experiences are brutal and destructive. With reverence, our experiences become compassionate and caring. We shall come to honor all of life sooner or later. Our choices are when that shall happen and the quality of experience that we shall have as we learn. So if you choose sooner, your experiences are going to be better. Yes, you're still going to learn. Yes, you're still going to evolve. That's the end of chapter 3, by the way. We will continue into chapter 4, the heart, next week. But I'm going to chit-chat with you a bit. And thank you for coming in, Cherokee. Whew. I'm just so passionate about this subject because I feel it is so pertinent that we realize that we are so much more than what we see. We are so much more than these bodies. We have so much more senses than the five senses of taste and smell and touch. We and sight and hearing. We have more. There's more. There's more. And once we connect to that more, our perspective and our perception of life changes. We get to see the truth of things. And once we get to see the truth of things, we can approach things from that angle. And we could come up with actual solutions. And it's happening. It is absolutely happening. This book is a little outdated. This book was written, I want to say, in the early 90s. Yeah, exactly. 1990. This book was written, okay? We are 70, let me see, 90, 2070, no, 65, no, 65, 35 years. I can't say too long. Tiny Boss goes to school tomorrow. All righty. Thank you for coming in and tapping the screen. 35, girl, you see me? It was written 35 years ago. So we have made some advances in those 35 years. There are more people who are acknowledging the importance of spirituality. There are more people that are practicing reverence. There are more individuals on the planet that is doing that now than ever before. So we are progressing forward. Now, I know that's not what they show you on the news. And they don't show you that on the news on purpose. But the fact that we are still here is proof that it's happening. It's proof that it's happening. And it's going to continue happening. We're going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to get better. And as individuals, because individuals have to make that choice for themselves. We have free will. People have to make that choice for themselves that they're going to recognize the bigger parts of themselves. And they're going to have practices to acknowledge and honor those bigger parts. And they're going to exercise reverence for their lives and for the lives of others. And when people make that choice, the more people that individually make that choice, the more we will see changes. Because then who is going to sit in those seats? Those political seats? Who's going to operate these businesses? Who is going to do it? It's going to be the people who are more conscious. It's going to be the people who are making the choice to acknowledge the bigger part of them. That's who's going to create these sustainable solutions where we don't got to be digging in the earth, taking out her blood, basically, to fuel automobiles. We could do it with electricity. We could start actually applying Nikola Tesla's sciences. We could start, doing these innovative things that are actually sustainable. They're not polluting the earth. They're not harming the earth. They agree with the ecology of the earth. And guess what? It's still going to accumulate freaking profits. There it goes. My my live thing. It says we have detected inactivity. I don't know how they detect inactivity when I'm talking very passionately. Thank you for coming in, Jackie. So yeah, I do have to get back to my homework. But it's been a pleasure. You guys are always welcome to comment. I'm here every Sunday, Soulful Sunday, 3 p.m. If you don't catch me in the TikTok streets, you can definitely catch me here on YouTube. And if you don't catch me live on YouTube, you can catch the replays. The replays are published up there, and you can catch them at your convenience. So I want to thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I shall return. I'm looking so forward to completing this book with you guys. This is my second, well, it might be my third go. I'm not even sure. But I know I've started it before, and I really thoroughly enjoy this time because even though I'm sharing, and you may or may not be familiar with the things that I'm sharing with you, it is a reminder and it is a reinforcement of all of the things that I have evolved in the knowledge of having. So I am just really, 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 really grateful to be here, to be of service to you, and to be able to remind and be able to dive deep into these subjects. And I wish us all wellness and have reverence for us all. So thank you. Yes, Lucretia Body Oils link will be in the description once this particular episode is published. And anybody over here, y'all seen this, so hopefully y'all went over there to her page because her stuff is good. Her stuff is good, good. She gonna get to mass production, but guess what? When she gets to mass production, guess what? She's gonna be doing it sustainably. I said it. It's gonna be happening sustainably. It's not gonna be mass production in a factory that's emitting all of these chemicals into our ozone area. No. That's not how she's gonna be mass producing her line. Period. Click all the links that's in the description, and welcome, and take care, and peace.